Okay, welcome back. Another technique is visual thinking. Visual thinking that can help you be more innovative in your creation of your business models. Now, what's the value? The value is this. Business models are complex concepts composed of various building blocks and interrelationships. So it may be difficult to really understand a model without seeing it, and sketching it out in some way, using some sort of visual interpretation of it, okay, is one way in which that can happen. By using visual techniques, it makes it more tangible and can give the business model, let's say, life, so to say. And visualization is already widely used in business. I mean, we use charts and graphs and diagrams and all sorts of things already. And so this is something that we're very familiar with in business. And visualization is improved, can improve these four processes: understanding, dialogue, exploration, and communication. Understanding the essence. Okay. The visualization can create a visual grammar. A visual grammar. I mean, the business model canvas poster is a conceptual map that functions as a visual language with corresponding grammar. Okay. It tells you which pieces of information to insert in the model, where it provides a visual and text guide to all the information needed to sketch out a business model. Also, it helps in capturing the big picture. Again, by sketching out all the elements of the canvas, you can get an immediate sense of the big picture of the business model. I mean, the canvas simply simplifies in a visual way the reality of the enterprise and all its processes, structures, and systems. And finally here, by using this visual technique, now whether it's the canvas or not, that's not the point, but using a visual technique, you can see the relationships and begin to start grasping the interdependencies between the elements of the business model. And sometimes that's easier to express through drawing and lines and arrows and whatnot, visually, okay, than through words themselves. Enhancing the dialogue. Well, if we have a common image, let's say, a common image, okay, and that we can actually see and discuss, okay, again, that makes the model more tangible and more persistent as an object. It can be a reference point to which the participants and the other innovators can return. Okay. Given that people can only hold a limited number of ideas in short-term memory, having some sort of a visual portraying of the business model is essential to a good discussion. We can always go back to the picture. Okay. Even the simplest business model has a number of different components and a number of different interrelationships. And if we can go back to a picture, that often helps us. Shared language. Now, we talked about this before, but the picture, and if we talk about the canvas itself, creates this shared visual language. Okay? Not only as a reference point, not only as vocabulary, but also as grammar, and becomes a powerful tool that enables us to continue the discussion with respect to business models, elements, and in fact, how they fit together. So a shared visual business model language powerfully supports idea exchange and the increased team cohesiveness, because now we know what we are actually speaking about. And finally, joint understanding. Again, if we're looking at the same image, if we're drawing the same image, if we're using the same sort of language, if we're using the same sort of grammar, then it is a very effective way to achieve joint or shared understanding. and people from different parts of the organization or from even different organizations can really understand the business model because we have such a solid grasp of the whole thing. Explore ideas. Well, by using visual techniques and visual thinking techniques, okay, the picture can serve as a trigger. The picture can serve as a trigger. As he said, that Pablo Picasso says that in the beginning he has an idea, and then it becomes something else. So you need something as a starting point, and the picture, the business model canvas, can be that starting point. Okay. Ideas that you place in the canvas trigger new ideas. So the canvas becomes a tool for facilitating idea dialogue, for individuals sketching out their ideas, and for groups for developing their ideas together. And then once you have these ideas in some sort of way where everyone can see them, in some sort of poster or some sort of canvas or on the wall in some sort of way, then you can start to play. It's an opportunity to play. Okay. With post-it notes, with drawings, or whatever, we'll talk about those in a second, you have the opportunity to play. Well, what if we do this? Or what if we do this? Wouldn't it be great if we could do this? What if we cross this out? What if we use this relationship instead of that relationship? So it's an opportunity for us to jointly play using the same language, using the same grammar, and that sort of thing. And finally, it helps communication. Now, we talked about certainly it helps having this commonality to communicate with the people in the group. But also, it enables us to facilitate company-wide understanding. Because again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so it might be challenging for people from different parts of the organization to understand if we try to verbalize it by looking at a picture and pointing out some relationships and interrelationships and dependencies. Okay, it is a way in which we can improve company understanding. Okay. We can also use this visualization as a tool to sell the ideas and to sell our plans to other parts of the organization, other levels of the organization, to get support, to get funding perhaps, to start initiating that change that the new business model is going to require. And finally, it could be a tool that we use to sell externally. Because just as we need to sell our internal employees on things such as the new model and our new plans, we need to do that same sort of things externally, whether we be entrepreneurs and we need to sell to other parties, to board members, advisors, financiers, investors, potential partners and collaborators. And having a strong visual sense can substantially increase our chance for success. And two common tools are Post-its and drawings. And Post-its are pretty cool tools because, again, we can write something on it and we can move it around. Okay, we can write something on it, we can move it around. They're cheap, they're colorful, they're plentiful. And drawings the same sort of way. Drawings the same sort of way. We can always erase it, we can cross it out, we can start again. It's not about being an expert artist. It's about just being able to convey the point you're making. If you use stick figures or more elaborate figures, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.